American Giant makes great clothing, sweatshirts, jeans, and more right here in the U.S. Visit American-Giant.com and get 20% off your first order with code STAPLE20. That's 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com, code STAPLE20.
What's up, you guys? It's your girl, the one and only Ash Brown. And this is Ash Brown Uncensored. On this program, I talk a little bit about everything. It may be pop culture related, but it's probably Ash Brown related. So you got to stay tuned to see what I'm going to talk about. Now, for months, everyone has been talking about this documentary. It's been one of those that has been highly anticipated for years, honestly. And it's finally here. The Freaknik documentary is on Hulu. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, so first off, Freaknik, the party which was, and the greatest party never told. Oh my goodness. So many crazy memories. Now, when Freaknik was in its prime, understand that I was a child, okay? I was like maybe 8 or 9 when Freaknik was in its prime. All right, and when it was really popping off. Now, I have an older sister that would frequent Freaknik every year, and I'd always hear about it from her and other people and people at my school, and we would hear about the promotions and the different parties on the radio and all stuff like that. So it was very much around us. Now, the documentary goes into the history of Freaknik that I was not even privy to, and I thought it was very enlightening. It was fascinating. Yeah, things got crazy and random and just out of control. My main takeaway from watching the documentary was Freaknik was a party that really wasn't regulated. And as it grew, there were people involved in Freaknik that just were not good people. And a few rotten apples spoiled the bunch, essentially. But I guess from watching the documentary and going back to what I know from my childhood, I didn't know how unregulated it really was. Like, people would just pull up and just music, dancing, freaking, it was so unregulated. I don't even know how to put it. Like, in today's world, I believe that someone bought the rights to the name Freaknik, and he started the Freaknik Festival or something like that. And I think I'd heard something in passing about that, but I knew it wasn't going to be like the original Freaknik. And I lived in Lithonia those early years, and we never went to the city during that time because we knew that it was Freaknik. It was going to be traffic. It was going to be crazy kids out on the street or whatever the case is. And I just remember us even just like going to church on Sunday and trying to come back from church, and we're stuck on the highway, y'all. We are stuck in Freaknik traffic on the highway. And my mom is like trying to distract us and trying to tell us to not look out the window because we're seeing girls blast out music. They jumping out their car. They are Buddha shaking. It's just absolute, just chaos in these streets. It was. So to get the background of how Freaknik, the inception of Freaknik, how it started, and getting that rich history about it was very enlightening for me. I really enjoyed that. And then to see how it grew and how it was just one of the go-to events every spring break. And you just knew, if you lived in Georgia, if you lived in the metro area, you knew spring break coming, okay, traffic's going to be stupid. There's going to be a whole bunch of people from out of town and people acting crazy on the road. Like, that was a given. That's going to happen. So to see some of the heavy hitters, a lot of people got their start and really got their name out there as far as musically. It talked about Outkast, how they were giving out like these sample CDs, these sample cassettes. All right, yes, kids, we're digging back to the cassettes. They had sample cassettes that they were giving out, and that was a really big part of how that first album came into being one of the biggest hits in Outkast's whole catalog. And Freaknik had a really big part to do with it. The live performances, the appearances, it was just party on top of party. Like, the thing about it that I think really just blew my mind on it was how unregulated it was. I know what I'm saying, unregulated. But I'm saying, like, there was not in particular, like, one organizer of Freaknik. It was just a host of hundreds, probably thousands of people coming to this city and partying individually, but, like, in public. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. But it was such a big movement. And unfortunately, some bad actors, some really bad seeds ruined it for the bunch. And with business trying to come into Atlanta, that was a really big and important turning point for Freaknik, because money is money. The almighty dollar is always going to win. And they were not going to pass up on all these different conventions and big organizations coming because some college kids wanted to have some fun. So it was a vibe. And even though I never got to experience it firsthand and being there, I still have memories of what was. I had people that were going to these parties and were involved in different things. And it was a whole vibe. Freaknik was a whole vibe. But because it wasn't regulated, like I said, if it had like one particular organizer, this is where we're going to be at this time. This is pre-convention era. All right. There weren't a whole bunch of conventions and things going on at that time. And then keep in mind, we got majority of these are college kids from all over the country. So because it was like anywhere in Atlanta that there was music blasting and girls in booty shorts and guys that felt that they had a chance, they were having Freaknik. They were having their own little Freaknik moment. And that was interesting. And just very fascinating, to say the least. They had their fun. They definitely had fun, but it became a thing where it wasn't fun and it became dangerous. And women were being attacked and a lot of heinous crimes were happening during that time. So I understand why it was shut down, because nobody wanted to necessarily take responsibility for Freaknik. They just wanted to be a part of the festivities, essentially. Everybody wanted a piece of it, whether you were doing a concert, you were vending and selling t-shirts, or whatever the case is. Everybody wanted a piece of the action, but nobody necessarily took full responsibility for it. And I think that was because it was up for grabs. It was anybody's show. So I thought that was interesting, because now with the guy that bought the name, he does the Freaknik Festival. I don't know when he does it or whatever. So that is like his festival. He's got it set at, a certain location. He's got acts and things. So that's his event. He's regulating it. He's organizing it. He's telling you what the schedule is or whatever the case is. But there will never be another Freaknik like the 90s. The 90s absolutely, positively was a whole vibe. The 90s was a whole vibe. And I didn't see anybody that I recognized. Thank God. I was kind of trying not to look. But Freaknik. Oh, the memories. I did get a t-shirt one year. Yeah. Somebody had got me a t-shirt one year. And that's when they had like the Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and they was wearing clothes like crisscross. And it was just, like I said, it was a whole vibe between that and then my baby daddy. You know, that's just my baby daddy. That was really big because I had a t-shirt with that as well. So it was fun, and it was a moment in time. But there will never be another event like that because, number one, Atlanta's not going to have it. I'm going to tell you that first and foremost. Anything that's coming in and through the city that's bringing money is going to be under some sort of management. It's going to be regulated in some aspect because we can't just have the craziness and just the gridlock traffic that was happening during Freaknik. Like, I heard another story of a woman that passed away because the ambulance couldn't get to her during Freaknik. That's horrible. It's heartbreaking. So I think that the documentary is a good watch. If you ever heard about Freaknik, if you know anything about Freaknik, or maybe this is just brand new information, it is a fascinating cultural piece that I think is long overdue, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm just going to put that out there. I'm just saying that what it is. Yeah, so go check out the Freaknik documentary on Hulu. I mean, The Wildest Party Never Told. I'm telling y'all. There's just so many layers to it. So many layers to it. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. And thank you for supporting, of course, the Ash Said It show across all platforms. The downloads are crazy ridiculous. And you guys know I'm One Love Ash across everywhere. Or Ash Said It. If you just search Ash Said It, you'll see a lot of my stuff pop up. Okay? Understand it. So, I love you guys. Have a great, prosperous, purposeful, and peaceful week ahead. All right? Have that kind of week. That's what we're claiming that. I'll holler at y'all later. Deuces.